Hello happy people, my name is Dan and welcome to another episode of GM48 Game Jam Games. In this episode we are going to be looking at 4 games that are made in 48 hours around the theme of side effects. So let's see what we've got. Okay, so up first today we have got Chalkborne. And in Chalkborne you are at the moment selecting a team of chalk doodles. Because the story is chalk doodles and bad chalk doodles are fighting each other because the doodles are not dead, they are still around and they're bad and you have to shoot them. It wasn't quite clear, to be honest. I do like the art style here, the sort of chalk yard, doodly, black and white. Yeah, it's a fun art style, it's silly and it's unique and I do appreciate that. The problem I had is there is a lot of text and a lot of words, more saying than doing, which I think is a bit confusing. So I did find myself a little bit lost with this one, unfortunately. I do think it's interesting, there's a lot going on here, and if you're a sort of strategy buff, then this sort of thing would be really good. It kind of reminds me of tabletop kind of gaming, you know, when you've got the cards and the different styles and you lay out the cards and do the attacks and they can do different things, and there's a lot of complex rules. Some people, they really dig that, and fair play to them. For me, I am a simple man with simple needs, and I found there was just too much going on, which is definitely not the game's fault at all. Totally mine on the grounds that I need to have spent more time reading it and studying it and figuring out what I was meant to do. While I was playing, I was just pressing random buttons because I wasn't entirely sure what it was I was meant to be doing. I know there's a load of icons at the top and they all mean different things. There's a lot of options at the bottom and they all mean different things. I think what I need to do is revisit this and have a proper read and understand of what's going on, because it's clearly a lot of thought and a lot of effort has gone into the strategic play of this game, and that is all really well done and completely wasted on me. So I'm definitely going to have to go back and revisit this because it is a good game, and I'm sure there are some good merits to me putting some more time and attention into all those words at the beginning. So it's a good start and I enjoyed it and I look forward to trying it again. Okay, so up next we have got Reach the Outpost, and that is something I very unceremoniously did not do. What you have to do is you are a yellow-red shooty magoo, and you have to get the data and avoid the enemies. The enemies are these little rogue binary digits shooting at you, and these walls which open and close on you. You can't collide into the walls like I have just done because that will kill you. I do think the collision is a little bit tricky on this because it's very precise and there's not a lot of leeway for error, which is interesting. And as well as that, the bullets are quite difficult to see. They're very small and you only have the one life. So having maybe a few more lives, slightly bigger bullets, just small things like that might help. But I still enjoyed this one. It's very sort of inside a computer, and what you have to do is you have to shoot virus motherboard googly over there. He takes 5 hits and then they are dead, and you have to carry on until you reach the outpost, collecting these things as you go. What I do find interesting is there are also power-ups, so you'll see I get one in a minute, and the power-up is one of those where the side effects really come into play because you have to choose a good and a bad. Well, you're offered a good and a bad, and you have to choose whether or not you want to accept it. So that's this thing. In this case, I move twice as fast and are less slippery, but the game window will move with you. Now, I was quite keen to see the game window move with me. You can't see it in the recording because it's just recording the game window, but that means now as I move up and down, the window is moving up and down the screen. The next one, projectiles are twice as fast, but when you miss a shot the game speeds up. Now I was already bad enough at this game, so I didn't want it to speed up, so I selected no there. But it was interesting to see the game window move with you. It's an interesting touch, not something I would have thought of for side effects, so I'm keen to see what other side effects there were, but like I say, with the only one life and then instant reset at the start, it's difficult to get too far, so I will have to give it another go. But it was a good job, I enjoyed it. Okay, so up next we have got Failure to Scope, and in Failure to Scope I got a big old laser. I like that, that was a fun laser. It's a bullet hell shooter, which is interesting. One thing to note, when you start it, it does say that it's best played on a portrait monitor, and I'm sure it would be, but I am not going through changing my monitor settings and my actual monitor for the sake of one game. I think it would be a good phone game, by all means. It's a fun bullet hell, and if they were aiming for portrait with the intention of putting it into phones after, that's a good way of doing it. I'm not flipping my monitor portrait. Basically what you have to do is you collect the ships for extra lives, you collect the dots for power-ups, you're shooting gold and red disc targets, nipples, I'm not entirely sure what they are. The laser is easily the best weapon, but there are only, so you've got your standard weapon, your fast shoot and your laser, and you've got a little heat monitor at the bottom, so if you do overheat then you slow down and can't fire. You collect lives as you go along, and you have to last a minute and a half without dying, without running out of lives, basically. It's a fun start, it's a little rough around the edges. I do hope they carry it on with more waves, more levels, more weapons. You can add a lot more to it, but it is a fun experience to start with, so overall it's a fine bullet hell shooter game, and if they are going for phones as their target, then this is an excellent foundation, and I hope they carry on with it. That was a good one. And finally today we have got Deathball. And in Deathball, it's quite it's a fun, silly game.
Only the bravest and the boldest, and here we
just
go.
want you to enjoy that. It's got some fun voice acting, and what you have to do is you are this escaped convict by the look of it in your lovely orange overalls. You have to escape a hard as nails obstacle course to get to the end. But it's silly, it's got a lot of showmanship to it. It's really difficult, which is not great for me because I am not very good at difficult games, but gamepad support, which is always a plus, and I found it fun. That's the main thing. Sometimes difficult games are so difficult that they're incredibly off-putting. This is difficult in a fun way. I'm going to have to give another go because I did find, as you'll see later on, I got stuck. That bit's tricky as well, but I got stuck in the water. So you've got 3 levels there, which is nice, and you can choose something from the shop. I don't know what I chose, I should have read that. I like the people chanting on the top right as well, so it all looks like it's some performance. I don't know what I selected, I really should have read that, but now I've got some glowy effects going on and a Smurf background. I think it was an extra life of some sort. I'm not too sure, but I did give it another go, and this is where I got a little bit confused. I assume you earn extra coins when you beat the levels. I do like the people in the background there. It all looks like it's staged as some sort of big show. It's a lot of sort of jumping around and trying to escape the sort of prison zone something. But this bit did get a little confusing. I got stuck in the water. I assume one of the power-ups, because you have side effects and they give good and bad. But I couldn't get out. I think there might have been like a double jump or something I could have tried, but I didn't see it or didn't manage to pull it off, so I will have to give that another go. But that is a fun game. I like the artwork as well. It's especially the flames, or detail on the flames is good. It's silly and fun, and that's what you want in a good in a jam game. So that's going to do it for today. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, stick around, and I will see you in the next one. Until then though, bye!